So today I wanted to talk to you about the word or the concept of Coddiwomple. It's actually on my license plate now too, but what I'll do is I'll walk around here a little bit and give you some video of this place, and then I'll also splice in some of my favorite locations I've recorded myself riding in as well. So, Coddiwomple means to travel in a purposeful manner towards a vague destination, which is kind of what I've adopted as my normal operation mode lately. In the past, I've made trips that were focused on getting to a location. Like I wanted to go to Rocky Mountain National Park and Pikes Peak, and I made a ride out of that, and it didn't go perfectly, and I kind of felt disappointed, like, oh well, that could have went better. And I went back the next year to complete that ride, and I kind of got to thinking, what if I just make the ride about getting out on the bike and going somewhere, and make it less about destinations? So that's why I decided to do my county map. I try and get all these different counties around the US and see how many of them I can get to. The reason I'm doing that is if I get to every county, eventually I'll see all this cool stuff, and I can kind of see everything by seeing nothing. So by seeing nothing, I mean I'm not specifically targeting any big attraction. I'm not trying to specifically see Pikes Peak. I'm not trying to specifically see the Anamosa Motorcycle Museum, which is now closed, by the way. Those are just stops along the way. So what I did was I made a big bucket list of all the places that I want to eventually go check out. I use sites like Atlas Obscura, Roadside America. I've actually contributed quite a few things to Roadside America, and just being on Adventure Rider, when I see people post really interesting places like the Avenue of Giants in Oregon or whatever, I think, I want to make it a special point to see that whenever I get out there. I'm not designing routes around specifically going out to Oregon to see that. But when I do get out there, I want to see, that specific place. It just happens to be along the way. For example, the next ride I'm going just collecting counties in Wisconsin and northern Illinois. What is that? I can hear it, but I have not been able to see it. Mouse or something. Anyway, this Wisconsin-Illinois ride, I'm just going out there just to ride around to say I've been to this or that county, whatever. And while I'm out there, I thought, well, maybe I'll check my bucket list and see if there's anything close by. Not really. But what I did find while I was watching a 1320 video on Sick Week, which is a week-long drag racing event, they went to this car museum in Roscoe, Illinois, and I thought, I wonder how close that is to where I'm going. Turns out it's like 5 miles off my route. Awesome, I'll add that. And I thought, well, yeah, I'll just add that. If it's open when I drive by, I'll stop there. Cool. So I find a lot of stuff just by chance like that. When I went on my last North Dakota trip, I had no idea there was giant mining stuff in Beulah. Kind of in the Bismarck area. I didn't know that was there. Just happened to see it while I was out. I also didn't know there was all this Western history stuff, which if you're in the prairie states or out west, you know, Dakotas, Wyoming, Montana, there's all these little roadside markers, and they have little history blurbs on them about what happened there. I love seeing those. I never go plan a route around those, just, oh, historical marker, quarter mile, 1,000 feet, whatever. Yeah, stop and read it. Occasionally, they'll have something on there like, hey, you know, 2 miles southeast of here is the actual location, and I'll go out of my way to go find that. Yeah. But most of what I do is just, okay, I haven't been to this county yet. I'm gonna go there. Once I get there, maybe I'll get sidetracked, maybe I won't, because usually I pretty much stick to my routes, but it's pretty frequent that I add, you know, 100 to 150 miles going off route to these little locations. And you just absolutely will not be able to see everything. You know, I have people tell me, or, you know, I'll say, hey, I'm going on a 2-day motorcycle ride. Oh, cool, where are you going? They ask expecting a destination or an attraction or an event. Well, that's not the way I do things. I'm going to go ride around central Wisconsin. Oh, what are you going to go see? I don't know. Figure it out when I get there. And a lot of people just don't understand that. Like, why would you do that? Like, why are you not planning to specifically go see something? Aren't you wasting your time? Well, kinda. That's a point. I don't have to do anything. I'm just going out for a ride. Whatever I find, I find. You know, and they'll say, oh, hey, while you're over by such and such place, you know, you should go see this or that. Maybe I will. You know, if it seems like something of interest to me, maybe I will add that to my route. Or people ask me, you know, my last North Dakota route, oh, hey, did you see this or that in Bismarck? Did you stop here in Fargo? No. I kind of stay out of cities generally, unless they're smaller. I have no interest in tromping around a big city trying to get to stuff. I went to a bike night in Minneapolis once. It was one of the most unpleasant motorcycle experiences I've ever had, between the traffic and the people and the overpriced food and drink, and it's not my thing. Obviously it's not. Look what I'm doing right now. Oh man, there's a lot of mosquitoes back here. It did just recently rain. I'm gonna go back over by the lake so there's a little bit of breeze. There weren't any mosquitoes over there. So, you know, I talk to people occasionally about traveling, and they seem disappointed in my travels. Like, you didn't see anything or go anywhere. Sure I did. I went a lot of places. I saw a lot of stuff. I will end up seeing more of the United States than pretty much everyone I know. Oh man, mosquito flew in my mouth. I'll end up seeing more of the United States than pretty much everyone I know, because I choose to see more land than I desire to see specific locations. I don't know. This is why this video is in roadside rambling, because I am just rambling. You know, I'd rather drive through every single county in Maine rather than go to Bar Harbor or whatever and spend a week there. What am I going to do for a week in the same place? You know, what am I going to do sitting on a beach for 3 days? If that's what makes you happy, go for it. I'm not putting that down. I'm just saying it's not for me. I could not fathom sitting on a beach for 3 days, paying for a flight to get there and a flight back home. Like, I don't get it. Oh, they're little chipmunks making that noise. I finally saw one. You know, eventually someday I'm going to go to Hawaii and ride around there because I got to cross it off my list. But I really don't plan on sitting around on the beach for days when I do it. I don't see the appeal. To me, you know, riding to a place like this and going on a short hike means way more than going into some city and having a $20 hamburger at some bar that had some little gimmick to it. You know, like I've been to the Space Alien bar in Fargo, I forget the exact name of it, on the west side of town, because I like space stuff. So yeah, I went there and whatever, but I didn't make it a destination. It just happened to be along the way to something else. There's some little bluegills over there too. Here's one. So I don't really know where I was going with this. Kind of fits the theme. Coddiwomple. Purposeful travel to a vague destination. I certainly don't know where I was going with all this rambling, but just kind of explaining how I travel and why I ride my motorcycle. I mean, you know, I do have a boat and I do have fishing gear and stuff. I read books. You know, I watch a lot of movies, but this is my main hobby. It's where most of my finances go. But if you want to see everything, you can't see it all. Oh, another point I was going to make, because I've thought about 5 or 6 different ways of making this video. That's the thing, you can't see everything. So when I'm on these rides, you know, it'll say, oh, there's this or that thing over here, there's this or that thing over there. Well, there's not enough time in the day. You know, for me to get to every county in the United States, I think I have to average like 68 counties a year for 30 years. Something like that. There's that little striped gopher chipmunk thing, ground squirrel. I don't know what to call them. Everybody calls them something different. But you know, there's always something interesting, no matter where you go. Always. There'll be some historical site, or there'll be some amusement park, or some cool road that you can't drive on because you can't drive every interesting road there is. There's not enough time. Especially for people who have to work for a living, there's not enough time to see it all. So by my definition, if I've been in a county, I've been to that place. You know, I say I've been to every county in Iowa, all 99 of them, and people say, oh, have you been to, I don't know, whatever, Dairy Sweet in Danbury, Iowa? No, I haven't. I've been to Danbury. Or, oh, have you been to whatever, this park in this city? Well, no, but I've been to that county. You know, I feel I've been everywhere in Iowa because I've been to every county. It's like measuring a lake. How big is this lake? Well, how finely are you measuring it? Because if you measure it with a square, a couple acres. Okay, now measure it with something with 6 sides. Oh, the lake got bigger. Measure it with a shape with 10 sides. Oh, the lake got bigger. You know, measure it to precisely where the water stops. Okay, but how small of a segment are you talking about here? Because if you're talking a foot-long segment, you'd go across here. If you're talking a 1-inch segment, you're going to trace this all the way around. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So how big is the lake? I don't know. Does it matter? I've been to the lake. If I paddled a kayak around the perimeter, I've seen the whole lake, right? You know, if you paddled there, but you didn't paddle here, did you see the whole lake? I'd say you still saw the whole lake. And here's the thing, the people that I try and explain this to are not going to watch a 15-minute video of me rambling semi-coherently while walking through a mosquito-infested lake. So I'm going to make a short version too. So if you stuck around to the long version of this, thank you. I don't know how you did it. But that's me trying to poorly explain how I ride and what I'm doing. This is the kind of stuff I think about while I ride for thousands of miles through land that people think is completely uninteresting and unworthy of their time and travel. Whatever. How many people can say they've been to every county in a state or multiple states? Yeah. And I'm not doing this for bragging rights. I can't prove all the places I've been to. I can prove some places I've been to, but not all of them. Also, I don't care if people believe me. I know where I've been. So, I don't know if I'll be able to zoom in far enough on this. Pelicans over there by that beaver lodge. Forgot the word for a beaver house. I really wish I was better at identifying bird calls.